All right, here we are for our top 4 match at the Esports Arena in Santa Ana for our first Southern California Sword and Shield MSS.
Yeah.
It's been a very long day. I don't actually know what time it is.
Oh, just past 8. Just past 8. Oh my goodness.
But we have Shawn and Alex going up against each other. And of course, Shawn, who has done very well going home to Singapore. He won a lot of tournaments while he was gone. But he is bringing Tyranitar, Dragovich, Dragapult, Rotom Mo, Whimsicott, and Duraludon.
And you're going to see Alex on the left side with Hitmontop, Rotom Wash, Vanillux, Lapras, Dragapult, and Corviknight. So, 2 very different teams here.
Yes, and I think we've heard Vanillux pick up usage in the past couple weeks, like literally just a week.
Yeah.
I think people have started talking about it, which is very interesting. And of course, Lapras. I once ran AV Lapras.
Me too, actually.
And it only worked once.
You know what?
So it's very interesting to see Lapras come back.
I feel like people underestimate it, though. A lot of people don't understand. It doesn't have the best special attack, but it does enough with Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam's just a threatening because it's Stab and Ice type. That's always scary, especially for any Dragon type we see. But we are going to see Duraludon and Whimsicott lead on Shawn's side, and Alejandro or Alex on the left with Hitmontop, Lapras. So there's that Lapras. And Intimidate coming out from Hitmontop, so not going to really affect Shawn in this case, both special attackers. But Lapras, that's the key because it could go for an Ice Beam, possibly knocking out Whimsicott there if you double team with a Fake out there. Break that Sash, then hit it. Could go for Icy Wind so you can be a bit faster. Could go for just an attack on Duraludon, but you do have to watch out because Duraludon could hit you with a super effective Thunderbolt, maybe Max Lightning if it decides to Dynamax. So a lot of options here to consider. I think it's an even playing field, though.
And Shawn is going to take out little Floof Whimsicott for that Dragovich, which of course we know can do enormous amounts of damage with Strong Jaw and Vicious Rend. And we are going to see a Dynamax come from, Shawn's side. So that is a Dynamax Duraludon.
Yeah, I'm thinking that probably is there specifically for that Whimsicott. I'm sorry, Lapras, Thunderbolt. But we are going to actually see Dynamax on Alejandro's side. I'm so used to saying what's on the screen. He's like, Alex. Same thing. Anyway, he's going to go for that Dynamax on Lapras. Okay, well, you know what? There is that joke. Guess who Weakness Policy Edition. I'm kind of curious to see if Lapras is carrying that Weakness Policy because that would make sense to Dynamax it and take a hit. But we're actually going to see Max Wormwind from this Duraludon. Going to lower the attack stat on Hitmontop and Lapras with that. But it's useful for Hitmontop. But, and that
Hitmontop is going to be left with 33 HP, so it did take off a significant portion of damage. But that Hitmontop is going to hit back with a close combat, taking about, what is that, like a third of HP?
Just about.
Lapras coming in with that Max Ice move, Max Hailstorm onto that Duraludon, taking it down to a little less than half. We are going to see Hail start, but Duraludon, it's still living.
It's alive. Yeah, it's got about, just like over a quarter, under a third, that like a fifth-ish of health. Lapras is in a pretty solid spot because, again, it most likely could take a hit from Duraludon and knock it out at the end of the turn. Dragovich in a tough spot for Shawn because, you can hit the Hitmontop, but Hitmontop's only got 24 HP. I think I just keep Hitmontop in and sacrifice it for now, looking at what it could hit. The only thing really on Shawn's side that would be useful for is Tyranitar. And Lapras going to take that thanks to possibly Water Absorb. That's a common ability on Lapras, so it's just immune to Dragovich completely, so we'll see.
But Hitmontop is going to go for the defensive move and Protect. Vicious Rend coming out onto that Protect. Nothing happens, of course. Duraludon going for that Max Lightning onto that Lapras.
That's it. Very little.
Very little.
Is that Assault Vest then?
We'll find out. Let's see if we do see the Weakness Policy proc. We do not, so I think it is safe to assume that is in fact an Assault Vest. We see Max Hailstorm coming out one more time, and that is going to leave that Duraludon with 2 HP!
But it is going to get hit with the Hailstorm damage. And 3
HP!
Oh
so
my goodness!
Will be living for one more turn with 3 HP, which I think is a very good analogy for adulthood. Living with 3 HP. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble here. Of course, Dracovish and Lapras still sitting pretty. You know, we're most likely going to see Hitmontop and or Duraludon go down this next turn.
You know what? I think if I were Alex, I'd double down on the Dracovish because Duraludon's going to go down to the hill. Hitmontop is probably going to... I was going to actually Sucker Punch onto the Duraludon. So
meaning our Duraludon is now out. It's a lovely explosion when you see a Dynamax Pokemon go down. Oh, it's always a rough thing to see if it's your Pokemon.
Yeah.
But of course, that Fish's Friend going on to Hitmontop and KOing it as well, meaning that we'll see Lapras go onto that Dracovish with that Max Hailstorm and completely knocking it out too.
With a critical hit, there you go.
Oh!
Oof. Lapras, again, it's just no one sees it coming. It doesn't look like a big threat on the surface, and then it goes and knocks that out. So it doesn't hurt that the hail is up as well because you can get that ice boost. So that's definitely a dangerous move. And looking at Shawn's side,
and we don't know. So all we know is that Whimsicott is in the back. We don't know what his other Pokemon is. Now we know it's Tyranitar, which is not really going to stand up to Lapras, unfortunately. I think Shawn is in a really bad spot. Corviknight coming in.
You know
I think Lapras is going to be the OP of this game.
You could go for a couple of things. There's 2 options. I think if I were Alex, what I'd do, Ice Beam the Whimsicott because it will go down with the Sandstorm if it's Focus Sash, and then Corviknight usually carries the fighting move. It's been a long day.
It's been a very long day.
We will see in a minute. But
we're going to see Whimsicott with Tailwind, which of course is going to proc this first turn. Brock Slide coming in, and it's going to do a lot amount of damage onto that Lapras. Not do much onto the Corviknight, but the Corviknight is going to go for Iron Defense, meaning that we will see the defense freeze dry. Oh,
smart.
It's been a very long time since I've seen that, but of course it will take that Whimsicott down to 2 HP, meaning that Sandstorm is going to knock it out, leaving Shawn with just his Tyranitar, unfortunately. You know, where there's a rock slide, there's a way.
Oh, gosh.
It is a potential thing that we could see, but it is, of course, improbable.
It could happen. You know, that's what happened. It was the last game of the day. Rock slide flinch is what it came down to. So, you know, at least for me. So it's like, it is absolutely a shot. Another Iron Defense
coming out from that Corviknight. We're going to see that defense boosted one more time. I'm not really sure what else Tyranitar carries that it could go. We do see Alejandro's Dragapult coming out as well. Dragapult is almost always a super fast Pokemon. Insanely fast. It's most likely going to go first before that Tyranitar, meaning it could do some major damage. And there we go. Flamethrower.
Going for a possible burn, I'm guessing.
Yes. It does not take very much, and we don't see the burn come in, but we do see that Rock Slide come in and takes both Corviknight and Dragapult down to around half. Body press. There it is. Takes out that Tyranitar, and unfortunately for Shawn, Alejandro takes his first game. That was insane.
That was. But one thing that kind of know, at least with Alejandro's side, is the Iron Defense body press, because it does go off of your defense stat rather than attack. So that's huge. That's basically +4 in attack, essentially. Plus it helps with the rock slide, so it's a double win on that case. But that strategy is now known. So you can't rely on that surprise factor of going in and Iron Defense, because you know what's coming after that.
Yep.
So that's something that I think Shawn can take into account. He's a good player, you know. He's very good at adjusting his teams. I think I'm not 100% sure that Dracovish is going to be that useful in this match. I'm looking at what, at least what we saw from Alex's side. Lapras doesn't get hit and it knocks it out. It's with Freeze Dry, it's a 4 times weakness. And then Dragapult, I mean, if you go for a dragon attack, but then you're losing that Vicious Rend power, so it's not necessarily the best one. And then Rotom Wash as well. I mean, that's a lot of resistances there. So I think maybe it'd be best to leave that one out. It's tough, though. You know, it's tough because I'm thinking the only thing... I think Rotom Grass or Mo can knock out the Lapras, but the thing is, it is threatened by Lapras's Ice attack. So it's like 50-50. So I think this match is really, at least for Shawn, it's going to come down to positioning. So we'll see what happens, though. You know, one thing, too, is I'm surprised we didn't see Vanillux, because I'm thinking with the Tyranitar, that's another option, is Vanillux Hail. And I think that's useful because you go for Blizzard, you have the 100% accuracy, and looking at Shawn's team, that hits everything neutral, I'm pretty sure, or some super effective like Whimsicott, Dragapult, and Rotom-Mo. So I think that would be another option if, like, say, go for something with Corviknight, maybe protect on the first turn so you get your speed up and then spam Blizzard. That's a pretty solid option. So I think there's a lot of good options that Alex can do, but again, he has to position it right. So we'll see though.
Oh, it's been a long day.
It is.
It's been a very long day. But you know what? Dallas next weekend is going to be longer.
Yeah. Is it going to be like, do you know how many rounds?
We are at 9 rounds for sure right now. I think we have to hit 5-10 for that lovely 10th round.
Jeez.
Oh, it's 9 max. Okay, Miguel is telling us that it's 9 max, which, as someone who's attending, thank you. But of course, we see Shawn coming out with that Rotom-Mo and Duraludon, and Alejandro bringing out again that Hitmontop and Lapras, meaning that we will see Intimidate hit the Duraludon and Rotom-Mo. You know, Shawn made a good adjustment. Whether it's going to pay off, again, first turn, no one's moved. We have no idea.
I think here I would go. This is a brutal one, but I think I'm just, my gut feeling is Shawn's going to Dynamax that Rotom-Mo because it's going to do a massive damage onto Lapras with that Stab Electric move. I think Duraludon's going to either going to double attack it, but I think Duraludon is the one that's going to stay low this time, kind of act as just support rather than being the main offensive mon like we saw last time. So the question is, if we do see the Dynamax on Rotom-Mo, which we
see a Dynamax from Shawn's side with that lovely Shuckle t-shirt. And we see the Duraludon get Dynamaxed.
So it's just gonna. So yeah, I was gonna say, can the Max Hailstorm knock out Max Rotom-Mo? But we're not even gonna find that out because Duraludon maxed. But there's the Dynamax.
There's the Dynamax from Alejandro's side. You know, he could maybe switch it up, try to go to the Hitmontop, but I think Dynamaxing Lapras is going to be his best bet here.
This feels, you know, one thing that's interesting is looking at his team, it could also possibly work with G-Max Lapras. You still get the Hail with no, it's kind of something I'm wondering if maybe he's planning that.
And Rotom does go for that protect. Duraludon going with a Max Steel Spike onto the Hitmontop, which again only leaves it with 40 HP, which I think is a little heartbreaking. I think that KO would have been a really great thing for Shawn to get. Of course, defense is going to go up for Rotom-Mo and Duraludon. Hitmontop coming in with that close combat, getting that defense and special defense drop. And here we go, another Hailstorm.
This time onto the Rotom-Mo, though. It is going to break through the protection, not do too much, but it is also going to set up that Hailstorm. And now that Rotom-Mo is in big trouble because it will get taken out by another Lapras hit. The thing is, you do have that double Thunderbolt there, but Dynamax Lapras, if it is Assault Vested, that's not going to KO, and then you go for another close combat. And then Duraludon's going to be down to a spot where it will be in trouble. So I think you just got to go for the obvious play right now. Just go for that Rotom knockout in close combat. I don't see any other way, any other option here. And then, I mean, yeah, because Hitmontop really doesn't. I'm just thinking, and then if you're Shawn, you have to go for the Lapras. I don't think Hitmontop's worthwhile hitting right now. Yeah, the only thing it's really scary on is if it crits Duraludon with close combat. But other than that, I think it's just in a spot where it's a sitting duck.
Oh, and here we are. Duraludon coming in with a max darkness onto that Lapras. Oh, that did 60-something HP.
Yeah, that was
damage. That was not great. Of course, we are going to see that special defense drop with that Leaf Storm coming in, bringing down that Lapras to about half. I think Shawn was trying to get that special defense drop, which may have helped him. Close combat. Duraludon surviving with only 55 HP, but of course, we haven't seen Dynamax Lapras come in. That Max Hailstorm is going to attack onto that Rotom and does take the KO, unfortunately.
One thing I thought Leaf Storm would do a bit more, but I was kind of thinking Thunderbolt would probably be the best for longevity, but if you're expecting that to survive, it's a bit of a risk there. But in this case, Tyranitar going to come out. Now, you got to you're still in trouble because you are weak to water.
But we do see, that Lapras does have that special defense drop.
Yeah.
So that might come into play right now.
I think it's kind of obvious what Shaw's going to do here. I think, maybe protect Duraludon, make sure it survives. But I'm thinking you got a Thunderbolt Rock Slide, and with Corviknight coming out, it's going to chip it. That would chip it a little. Another Max Darkness, though.
Another Max Darkness. We are going to see another special defense drop go onto that Corviknight, take over just over half HP. Mirror Armor, of course, coming in, giving Duraludon that special defense drop. Lapras also getting the special defense drop. The joy of Corviknight. Mirror Armor.
Oh, except
Tyranitar coming in with a Rock Slide.
We also saw a berry there that raised Corviknight's special defense. So, yeah.
Oh,
so
Duraludon taking the KO as well, leaving Shawn with Tyranitar and whatever else he has in the back, which we don't know, unfortunately, right now.
I'm going to guess Dracobolt, but that would be just totally. It could be Dracovish, too, but with Lapras on the field, that's where we want to be. Well, you know what? Maybe I might be wrong on that. It depends. Tyranitar here, it is Dracovish here, but with Tyranitar, I think Rock Slide might be able to do it.
Dracovish, here we are coming in with that strong shot. Of course, Lapras, no more Dynamax for both players. It might be a little bit helpful. It may not be.
I think, I don't know. I think it's gonna. It depends on Dracovish can knock out whatever comes out on Corviknight's side. I was gonna say, which is hit him on top. Smart, get that Intimidate on. But and now that Intimidate, that's exactly what Alex needed, because you're gonna get Fishious Ren. That's gonna absolutely take out the hit him on top here.
Yes.
But in this case with Tyranitar, Rock Slide might be able to knock out the Lapras, and then it's gonna be 2-2. But with the Intimidate, that might not be. So let's find out. Oh, okay, yeah.
And it does. It takes the KO. I think that's a great thing for Shawn. He can take this back now. We are 2v2. We also, we don't know what Alejandro has in the back right now.
No.
It might not be so clear cut.
No, it might not.
For Shawn.
I think if he's got Rotom Wash, that's gonna be tough. Because so we're just Corviknight come back.
Corviknight, yes.
That way you get. It's Dragapult, though.
Dragapult.
Okay. Still could. We did see us use Flamethrower earlier. So I'm thinking, is he going to try and go for a burn? I still think Dracovish is the most threatening on the field. If it's Choice Scarfed, it'll... And actually, even not without Choice Scarf, it's probably fastest on... No, besides Dragapult.
But, of course, Dragapult is going to go for that Draco Meteor on to the Dracovish. Don't think it's going to go well for Dracovish. Yep, unfortunately does take that KO, with Dragapult getting the special attack drop as well. Tyranitar. Oh, Tyranitar's superpower.
Onto the Corviknight.
All right, onto the Corviknight.
Oh, Corviknight takes it.
Oh, that is heartbreaking. Corviknight, of course, going to take a little break. Going to roost.
It's not over for Shawn yet. I think Tyranitar does outspeed Corviknight, so Rock Slide flinches.
Yes.
That's about what we gotta hope for. Dragapult, we did see it go Flamethrower, so it really can't do much onto Tyranitar, and it took that Flamethrower really nicely last round. I think it did around like 20 damage, probably 40 with a hail. Yep. So I guess gotta hope you're not burned and get flinched.
Coming out.
Oh, it did way less than that.
It did way less than 2 HP.
Oh, there's the burn.
Does get the burn,
Got a crit a rock slide.
That was your fault. You did that.
I jinxed it.
You brought up the burn.
I jinxed it.
Rock slide coming in, of course, and Corviknight taking another break and roosting again. I think at this point we're just kind of into stall games.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Tyranitar, if it crits Corviknight, if it'll knock it out. I don't think it will, but like that's about the only thing I could think of. And then you can go for Crunch on Dragapult and win, but you just spam Roost if you're Alex here, because at this point it'll go down to burn damage eventually.
Yep. Eventually. Dragapult is going to come in with one more Draco Meteor onto our lovely Tyranitar here. Takes it down to a little less than half. We'll see what happens after that burn comes in. Rock Slide coming in again after that special defense drop on Dragapult. Doesn't really do much. Body press coming in. I think that's it.
That's it.
Takes the KO.
That's true. You have body press too. Of course, fighting move.
Yes.
That's probably better. No. And with that, Alex is going to go to our finals.
Yes. Our last game is still playing, so we unfortunately don't know who is going to be going up against Alejandro, but I think that was a really great game.
It was fun to watch.
Saw a lot of what I think we can expect in Dallas. I'm expecting a lot of strange shenanigans.
Yeah, especially like seeing all the hail and Lapras and Vanilla.
I think I'm going to see a lot of Vanilla because I've seen it.
I've seen too.
Once I see a Pokemon come up on Twitter like 3 times, I know I'm going to see it a little bit more often, which is very unfortunate. Or maybe I just need to spend less time on Twitter. Who knows?
Yeah. No, it should be fun, though, to see what the meta does with Dallas, because I feel like there's so many options this generation. There's like, just with this format alone, you can have a Rain team, Sand team, Hail team. I mean, that's just and then you have some Tailwind and Dracovish and then Trick Room and Hatterene Indeedee. Like, that's 5 cores right there that you could face. And that's that's not even half of it. So lots of options.
I don't actually think we know the top cut teams of the European regional that happened this weekend, which I heard went very well. I heard nothing but great things. Oh my god! I have been given nuggets!
You actually did it!
All right, we can go to commercial because I'm so happy right now.
Join us for the finals in just a few minutes while Tara enjoys her nuggets.